Elder Arthur Maxon, the hero of the East, the bringer of peace, the mutant slayer. The man has cults based after him, and he has done what many may have seen as impossible. He has reunited the Brotherhood of Steel in the East, and his authority and influence have been spreading across the eastern seaboard. Hell, he has even re-established a direct line of communication with the elders in the founding chapter. With that said, is it not possible that the Eastern Brotherhood could easily get in touch with many of the other Brotherhood chapters, from the rumored Midwestern chapter to the Texas and Mojave chapters? As well, Arthur Maxon has brokered a peace with the outcasts, reintegrating them into the Brotherhood of Steel, and proving he was as effective a diplomat as he was a warrior. If this is true, this would give the Brotherhood of Steel one of the farthest reaching grasps in the post-war United States, spanning seaboard to seaboard. Caesar himself couldn't even begin to imagine the total reach that the Brotherhood could have. Not to mention the possible number of troops that fall in line behind the Brotherhood of Steel insignia. However, there is and always has been an animal in their wake. This sleeping bear has held down the founding chapter for decades, yet information on the Pridwin suggests that maybe the hold that they once had isn't as strong as the Brotherhood initially thought. Not long after the Enclave were defeated at the Battle of Navarro, Jeremy Maxon assumed the title of High Elder, and made it his life's goal to reclaim and hoard all advanced technology, claiming the NCR as unworthy and lesser people. Jeremy set out on his goal, driving the Brotherhood into an all-out war with the NCR. This two-headed bear, the new democratic government on the rise, with a sum of 700,000 citizens and one of the largest armed forces the Wasteland has ever seen. And although the Brotherhood maintained a technological advantage and almost achieved total victory in the beginning of the war, the Brotherhood's power armor had nothing on the large fighting force the NCR was able to muster. It seemed to not matter how many troops the Knights took down. Once the first wave fell, twice as many would charge in behind them, leaving the isolated Brotherhood at a large disadvantage. Due to the shift on the battlefield, the Brotherhood was forced to retreat and go into hiding, leaving the Lions chapter the only chapter free to roam the Wasteland. However, Colonel Moore of the NCR mentions to the Courier that she has survived 4 tours against the Brotherhood, meaning that the war is in fact still raging on and the Brotherhood has yet to give up. It's easy to see why the Brotherhood went into hiding. Lacking the soldiers, it was clearly the only option left. However, the Brotherhood did not stop fighting. They merely resorted to more stealth-based tactics, eventually charging a full assault on the red and gold reserves, crippling the NCR's economy. During the beginning of the war, it is easy to see why the Brotherhood held high hopes for ending the fight quickly. After all, they didn't need large numbers if they maintained a technological advantage. The NCR, however, has something that the Brotherhood doesn't, and that's an industry. Much like Asher from the Pit, the NCR gave birth to a working class, and gave rise to merchants and craftsmen and women, just like those found in the Gunrunners and Crimson Caravan. Not only did the NCR have the manpower to keep the pressure on the Brotherhood, but they also had a steady supply of weapons and ammunition heading to the front, thanks to their industrial prowess, whereas the Brotherhood were relying solely on scavenged power armor and weaponry, something that in a time of war can become very limited, especially when the fight drags on. And with a lack of manpower, the Brotherhood couldn't send out scavenger parties for resupply. The founding chapter was eventually running on very limited supplies of munition, armor, and fighters. That is, until Arthur Maxon began to mass-produce power armor from scratch, using pre-war schematics. That's right, the T-60 variant of armor found in the Commonwealth is homemade by the Brotherhood. And if they are building power armor from scratch in giant flying warships, then it is more than likely that they are building their very own weaponry. Hence why the laser pistol no longer takes microfusion cells like it once had, because they've been remodeled to be more easily modified and to take a more common and stronger ammo type. With the Brotherhood's newly found independence from refurbished tools and equipment, no longer are they at a disadvantage. They are no longer limited by the supplies they have. And with Maxon in charge, the Brotherhood have been growing without any restraint on the East Coast, and they have now become a powerhouse. One that could very well threaten that of even the largest faction. So I ask you, is the NCR doomed to meet the same fate as so many of the other factions? Is the Eastern Brotherhood gearing up for one final push against the NCR? Who do you think would win? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the Wasteland.